Okay, welcome back to Midlifers. So today we're going to cover the different kinds of 35mm film cameras. The most common, easily available one is a viewfinder camera like this. A viewfinder camera is one of the more simpler cameras. Basically, you have a viewfinder here that you look through and a plane or lens which you shoot through. They are both different. You can't really tell the exact photo you're going to get, but through the viewfinder you can get a rough estimate. If you actually look through the viewfinders, you might be able to see some grid lines inside them. Okay, this will help you to frame your image a little bit, but this is only available in the more expensive cameras. The cheaper cameras may not have these grid lines inside. The second type of 35mm cameras you might notice are rangefinder cameras like this. So a rangefinder camera has two dual images inside the viewfinder. So similar to a viewfinder, there's a lens element that you look through and a different element that you shoot through. But the difference is that for rangefinder cameras, there's actually a patch in the center. I'm not sure whether you can see. When you move the focusing dial, this patch will align with the object that's in front of it, and that will help you to focus your image. The last common type of 35mm camera is a SLR, such as this one here. These cameras are basically, they have a mirror inside, and that helps you see what the lens sees. So whatever you see is basically whatever you see inside the viewfinder. Whatever the picture that you will take is whatever you see inside the viewfinder. These cameras are a little bit bigger, but they are one of the most versatile ones that you can find out there. For a beginner, normally I would suggest that you buy a camera with some automatic functions. So all these three cameras, they can be fully manual, or they can be having some automatic features. So for instance, this Olympus XA has automatic exposure. So for a beginner, it might be good because usually you don't want to deal with how to expose in a dark environment, how to expose in a sunny environment. The camera kind of has a CPU built in that can compute all this. And some of these cameras, they also come with interchangeable lenses. So if let's say you want to change the lens, you can. So you can change the lens for something a bit different. These are usually available on the more expensive cameras, such as this one here. This allows you some versatility, because sometimes you want to take very close-up images, sometimes you want to take a very wide image of a scenery. In such cases, interchangeable lenses will help you out a little bit more. But as a beginner, I would suggest maybe stick to something that's a little bit small, something that's a little bit compact, and if possible, a point and shoot, where you just have to look through the thing and then you shoot straight away because it has automatic features. Alright, so within each subcategory, you will have cameras that are called compacts. Some cameras are called point and shoots. Sometimes these terms are used interchangeably, and it can lead to some confusion. A compact camera just denotes the fact that it is very small in size, such as this one here. A point and shoot refers to a camera which has automatic features, so all you have to do is you just switch it on, then you point to something and you just shoot straight away. Both these cameras, if you notice, are actually viewfinder cameras. They have two separate viewfinders that you look through. So, but the Rollei 35 here is actually just a compact camera because it is fully manual, so you'll have to tweak with some settings. As a beginner, we don't really recommend starting with a fully manual camera without any automatic functions. For a beginner, usually you should get something with automatic functions. Basically, it's point and shoot. So basically, you point at something and you just shoot it straight away. So for viewfinder cameras like these, there's no real specific use scenario. You can use them for a variety of situations, and because of its viewfinder, just know that for nearby objects, there'll be a slight parallax error to what you see and what you will actually shoot on the camera itself. But otherwise, they are just general use cameras with very simple mechanisms to be used for any moment or any time. So rangefinder cameras like these, they are actually very compact. They're smaller than your SLRs. And because they're compact and small, they usually have a leaf shutter inside that makes them very quiet as well. So they're perfect for street photography, taking people on the street without them really noticing you. Because they're leaf shutter as well and there's no mirror moving inside, it's also perfect for low shutter speed. So when you're in a very dark environment, like under this shelter for instance, and the camera is forced to use a low shutter speed, these cameras are perfect because there's less of reverberation from a mirror moving. Alright, so when you're taking very close-up images or you want to do macro images, that's where an SLR excels, because whatever you see inside this viewfinder is basically what the lens captures. Compared to maybe your rangefinders or viewfinder cameras, this camera has no parallax error, so it's perfect for close-ups like these. Alright, so in summary, if you're a beginner, it's great to go with a viewfinder camera such as this. Please go with something that has a bit of auto features inside, so that as a beginner you don't have to worry about exposing the images correctly. If you have specific use scenarios or specific cases that you want to target your photography at, like urban environment, you like to take street photography, then a rangefinder such as this is ideal. It's compact, it's easy to use, and it's very quiet to use as well. But of course, if you love to take portraiture, you love to take close-ups, or if you like to take macro images of flowers, insects, stuff like that, then of course you should consider an SLR. All these cameras, they may or may not have interchangeable lenses, so that is another thing you may want to consider. In the next episode, we will tell you where you can buy these cameras or where you should look at. If you love this episode, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, we'd love to hear them down below.